Bethune has lost 54 pounds in 3.5 months using intermittent fasting and weighted walking. Thank you, Phil, for agreeing to be interviewed. Why don't you give people just a little introduction to yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, my name's Phil Bethune. I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm a commercial realtor. I own a real estate firm with my brother. I have 5 kids. My oldest is out of college. I have a junior and a senior, or a sophomore and a senior in college right now. And then I have a sophomore and a junior in high school right now. And basically, I'm a Boy Scout leader, and that's sort of part of my journey that I'll talk about maybe a little bit later.
And why don't you give people a rundown of kind of how you're finding success with weight loss? You know, what are you doing, and how much have you lost, and how long did that take?
Okay. Well, I mean, I've never had a weight problem. I went to a military college, and I was very athletic and very active, and I never really had a weight problem until uh, probably I hit my 30s. And then it started, I've had problems with gaining weight, and I've sort of roller coastered. I've lost the weight, I've gained it back, I've lost the weight, I've gained it back. And so when I decided to try to lose this weight this time, I decided before I'd always hired someone to help, or I had gone through like a metabolic, like doctor type program where you do shakes and supplements and that kind of stuff. And every time I lost the weight, I'd always been relying on somebody else to lose the weight and keep the weight off, and never really worked because I always put the weight back on. So I decided to try to come up my own plan that I managed myself, to try to get the weight off and to keep it off. And so, of course, YouTube is an awesome tool. So I did some searching around, and I found this gentleman his name is Yuri Alkaim, Elkaim. I'm butchering his name, but I learned a couple things really interesting from him. First things first, I learned about intermittent fasting with him, and learned exactly what that was. And then also, I was trying to come up with a workout program that I could sustain and not get, make it too complicated where I quit. And he had a program that he suggested with walking, but also using a weighted backpack to accelerate your calories burned and that. And so I sort of implemented those two things, and I started doing the intermittent fasting, and I was basically doing the fast for 16 hours and eat for 8 hours. And I had a backpack that I used some sand weights and made it about 30 pounds. And I was walking with that weighted backpack. And I saw really good success. I've been doing this now basically every day. I do 5 miles with this backpack every morning when I get up in a fasted state. And so far, I started off, I was 237 pounds. I'm 48 and I'm 5'11. So I was 237 pounds. And now it's been 3.5 months into this, and I have lost 54 pounds. I was 183 pounds this morning.
Wow, that's a
And
lot.
yeah, yeah. And actually, it was sort of funny. So I started doing this weight, and then about halfway through the 3.5 months, I started feeling really good, and I wanted to sort of amp up my little walk in the morning. So I did get 4-pound hand dumbbells, and I do curls and different type exercises like that while I'm walking, and it keeps my heart rate. It helps me keep my heart rate over 120. So I know I'm burning more calories that way. And it's sort of cool because it's the same amount of time, and I'm like doing 2 workouts at one time. And the but I did sort of hit a plateau about, I guess, about 199 pounds, and that's where I ran into your videos. and I started watching those, and learned a little bit more about the one meal a day deal. And so I started doing that, and that sort of pushed me past the 199 plateau. And I've, obviously lost quite a bit of weight since I started doing the one meal a day. And so basically, I've come up with this whole workout plan, sort of put it together myself, and I'm doing it myself without a trainer and without, going to some kind of doctor's office or something like that. And I'm hoping that by making it something I can do without relying on somebody else, I will keep the weight off.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It really does come down to you, right?
Absolutely.
So your daily routine, like, do you do the same thing every single day? Or do you have a cheat day or anything like that?
Well, this is my average day. I wake up probably about 6:30 in the morning, and I strap on the backpack and go walk. I walk the 5 miles with the 30-pound backpack and the 8-pound dumbbells, two 4 pounds. And then I get home. I drink. I'm a coffee drinker, so I drink black coffee. And I've been doing the apple cider vinegar for a while, and so I do like half a cup of water and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a tablespoon of organic lemon juice with a little bit of organic cinnamon in it. I do that shot, and I drink water with that Himalayan sea salt in it. And then I don't, I do that in the morning, and then I drink coffee throughout the morning. I don't really drink coffee in the afternoon. And then I eat about 3 o'clock. So I go home, and I usually eat, like a chicken breast, and I eat a lot because, one meal I pack it in there. So I eat a couple of big chicken breasts. I like the bird's eye steamable vegetables, so I'll throw one of those in and eat that. And then I usually eat a salad. I like eating some raw stuff. And then every once in a while, I'll mix an apple in. And then, that's it pretty much for the day. Occasionally, if I'm feeling really hungry, I'll eat another apple. I know that's not really fasting, but it helps me. I know it's not that many calories, and it helps me sort of get through if the evening goes a little long with the fasting. But then I'm in bed usually around 10:30 or so. Now, for cheat days, I don't really have a specific cheat day, but when I know I sell commercial real estate, so I do a lot of entertaining. And when I know I have to do something, uh, I try not to eat until that meal, and I just eat whatever. And it doesn't seem really to affect me. I might gain a pound, but I usually knock it off the next day. But and I don't drink. I'll drink alcohol, but I have learned that beer is pretty much a no for me. So I usually try to drink like a vodka, with the spritzer type thing with no, like or scotch and water or something like that. But I forgot to really talk about what I'm really training for. I'm a Boy Scout leader, like I said earlier, and I am taking some youth to Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico, which is the world's largest youth facility. And I've done this in 2015, where I actually lost a bunch of weight, but with a trainer. But this time, like I said, I'm going to try to do it on my own. And we do 85 to 100 miles in 12 days backpacking in the wilderness there in New Mexico. So obviously I want to be in shape for that. It makes it a lot more enjoyable trip.
Right. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. So that's basically my day. And I don't really have a cheat day, but I just know if I need a day where I have to, consume something more than normal, I just have that in my back pocket. But I think the key is give yourself those days, but also jump back on it as soon as you're done with those days. Don't let one day turn to 2 days to 3 days to 4 days.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So has weight always been a struggle for you, like when you're a kid, or was it really just when you hit adulthood?
No, I never really had a weight. I was actually a skinny kid, and like I said earlier, I went to a military college where we ran all the time. And so I
Mhm.
was in really good shape. It wasn't until I'd say 28, 30, when my kids were, getting older, or a little bit little, they were eating more fast food type stuff and that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. That's when I sort of, and I think my metabolism maybe slowed down some. Uh, and that's when I started seeing the weight issues. And I've always liked to drink beer and pizza and all that good stuff. And I've just learned some things are not good for me, because I
Mhm.
can't, I bloat up as soon as I can look at a beer and gain 10 pounds, it feels like. But
Right. So was there a particular moment that made you really want to do something about your weight this time, or was it just kind of like a gradual realization, like I got to get the weight off?
well, I think everybody sees pictures and they're like, ugh, I look horrible, and I want to lose some weight. And then also I had that trip coming up in
Right.
June of 2019, so I knew that I had to lose it for that. That's the reason I think I think when you set goals and stuff to help you, have a trip or an activity or something that you want to be in shape for, and
Mhm.
that is sort of key to have that long term goal, event to
Mhm.
work towards.
So, are there any challenges you still face with weight loss, or do you feel like you don't struggle with anything anymore?
I I mean, I think because I've lost and gained the weight probably 5 times since my 30 years old.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm a little paranoid. so
Right.
I think, I don't know if I'll never have that struggle or that in the back of my mind. But I really feel sort of a little different this time because I'm doing it on my own, and I'm also not like in a gym like totally going hardcore. I'm walking, so it's something I feel, it's good for me mentally too, because I have a lot. It takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to do my workout, 1 hour and
Mhm.
25 minutes, and I have time to think. And so
Mhm.
I think that's helped me a little bit. So I really feel a little different. Like this might be something I can keep up, and well, I'm hope I can keep it up. But I'm also thinking about doing some, starting to do a little bit of weight training and stuff now that I'm my goal weight is 178 pounds, and I'm at 183, so I'm really pretty close to where I want to be. So
Mhm.
I might start lifting some weights, just try to tone up a little bit of, you know some of the, I'm thin, but now I want to be a little bit more toned.
Mhm. So, what is one piece of advice you would give somebody else who's out there, they're on their weight loss journey? What would you tell them?
Well, I would do, I this has worked for me this time, is I make small goals. Like if it's a weight goal, it might not be my ultimate what I want to hit, but like
Mhm.
when I was losing the weight, I was like, all right, I want to get to 205. And then
Mhm.
when I hit 205, I said, all right, I want to get to 200. And I think those small goals help me.
Mhm.
And then also, like I said before, advice, if you do have your cheat day, just jump back on it the next day. And you might have gained a little bit of weight, but I just don't let that one day turn into multiple days.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, is there any question that I didn't ask you that you really wish I had?
No, not really. I mean, I've really enjoyed your videos, and I think YouTube is awesome for and when you have a bad day and you're
Mhm.
sort of struggling a little bit, that you can go in and watch. It's not even on your, just in your channel. There's a lot of good channels to
Mhm.
watch, people that have had great success, and it's inspiring, and and that helps you continue on and maybe get through that rough day. So I recommend using YouTube as sort of, not just such a place to learn from, but also just to keep your spirits up.
Mhm. What's a good channel, would you recommend another one, like, what's the one where you find really a lot of encouragement?
Uh, I don't really specifically know. Like Yuri's channel is a good channel because
Nice.
he's sort of a spiritual guy
Yeah,
too.
uh-huh. Yeah.
But there's so many good channels.
Yeah.
I go in there and weight loss and listen to people. You know, I think searching just intermittent fasting, you get
Mm-hmm.
so many good hits
Mm-hmm.
about that. I mean, it's
Right.
sort of funny that I didn't really know about 1 day, 1 meal a day, but I learned, you know, like through your channel, and now I've seen more about 1 meal a day type stuff. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's some, you're just, I think if you just search intermittent fasting, you're going to see so many good success stories to help you, you know, like I said, through those rough days.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Phil, for sharing your story with us, and we appreciate you being here.
My pleasure, and I hope success for everyone.